I'm tired of my teammates in ranked picking horrible operators, so today I'm going to be ranking them in a tier list from S to D tier on what defenders you should be playing. So if you do enjoy this video, please like, subscribe, go follow my Twitch, Twitter and TikTok on the description of this video. Without wasting any more time, let's just jump into it. Now starting off with the D tier, we're going to have the operators that do need a rework the most. They're extremely underpowered and I don't think there's any saving grace in their kit in the current state that it's in. First up, in no particular order, is Oryx. Oryx T5 in the Bailiff. Pretty strong weaponry there, however his ability is very bad in the current meta. If you don't know, the current meta on attackers is to bring shields, and previously in the last patch, before Blackbeard got introduced, he was a really good answer to shields. Now, the shield has an answer to Oryx, because if an Oryx dashes into you, you activate your ability as Blackbeard, and then it cancels out the Oryx dash. This is post-editing new to here. It's literally after I finished recording this segment, they patched this, apparently this was a bug. Then from there, you can melee the Oryx when he gets back up, or just shoot him in the head. Apart from that, proxies and barbed wire, they're alright, not bad. 2 speed, 2 armor, and the ability to climb up hatches, not bad. I just feel, unfortunately, the meta just doesn't really suit him at the moment. Next up in the D tier is Ela. The FO12 and the Scorpion are just not good weapons. They're not good. The pistol for Ela is pretty alright as well. It's not bad, it's not much of a saving grace for her. And for secondary gadgets, it's nice that you have impacts now to assist you in the roam. However, it doesn't take away from the fact that your gadget is complete poo-poo. And finally, to round out the D tier, we're gonna have Rook. Why would you ever run Rook? I can't think of any other time, genuinely reason with me for a second, why would you run Rook when Doc exists and Doc is just a better Rook? Rook doesn't have the ability to make rotations and head holes. Okay, he has an impact, but you don't really want to be using impacts for that. Doc does. Doc has a Bailiff. Rook just gives an extra 20 health and the ability to self-revive. Doc, on the other hand, can just fuel you to full HP. But then again though, Rook does have access to solid primaries and the likes of the MP5 and the P90. Also, don't sleep on that French shotgun if you can use the shotgun well. But the reason why Rook is just in D tier is because he just gets completely outclassed by Doc. Alright, moving on to the C tier now. Now, C tier is going to be full of operators that, do struggle to get value. However, if you're good at that operator, you can find insane value. First up in the C tier is going to be Sentry. Sentry, Commando 9 and the Super Shorty is a deadly combination, or you can run the CZ and the M870. Personally, my loadout for Sentry is always going to be Commando 9, Super Shorty, combined it with a C4 and proximity alarm. So whenever you hear someone go through your proximity alarm, you blow the C4 on a soft floor or a soft wall, and you get yourself a free kill. Next, Clash. Clash is very situational. If they're spamming shields, bring a Clash, or if you want free kills, bring a Clash. However, Clash just needs people to work with her to get the most of her value, which does bring her down a peg. But if you have a teammate that's willing to play off your Clash, then honestly, I think she's A tier. But just because of the fact that she needs teamwork to be able to be effective in countering shields and getting free kills for the defenders, I'm going to have to put her in C tier. Next up in C tier is Kavera. Kavera is a wild card. If you don't get an interrogation, she's poo-poo. But if you do get an interrogation, she is massively insane. Apart from that, the Spaz is a pretty good shotgun, and her pistol isn't that bad, but there's better options. Now next in C tier, now hear me out, it's Jaeger, hear me out. Now don't go run into the comments with your pitchforks and your torches ready to burn me. I don't think that Jaeger is good at the current time. Now why is this, you may ask me? It's just because of the fact that Wamai and Warden just do his job better. Don't get me wrong, I love the 416 carbine. It's one of my favourite primaries in the game. And do I love playing Jaeger? Absolutely. But do I feel like he gets outclassed by other catchers and deniers in this game? Yes, unfortunately. So until they buff Jaeger's gadget, or they buff his weapon further, because it's been nerfed so many times, it needs a little bit of a buff. I think that, unfortunately, he is just a C tier operator. Next in C tier is Alibi. The MX4 is insane, and the Bailiff is insane. Good combination for weaponry. However, secondary gadgets, not that good. And for main gadget, the Alibi Prisma clones are just not good at all. But if you can frag, go for her. Next in C tier, Pulse. Pulse is just really dependent on what the site is. If it's downstairs site and you can have soft floors above you to get free C4s, 100% he is powerful, but that's only like half the sites in the game. On top of that as well, you do have to be able to hit your C4s, otherwise you're useless. And to round out the C tier, we're going to have Mozzie. Now this pains my heart, it truly does, but Mozzie is a C tier operator at the moment. 4 pests isn't just going to save him, but what I will say, 4 pests is extremely busted. All they got to do now is revert the P10 Roni nerf when it had the 1.5 to where it had 16 bullets. If they gave it 20 bullets again, the P10 Roni would be insane and Mozzie would be a good operator again. But with that being said, if you can find someone to play Mute in combination with your Mozzie on a roam, 100% Mozzie is an insane operator. But it's like Clash in the sense that it needs teamwork to be, worth picking. Next up, we got the B tier. Now B tier is going to be operators that are solid picks. They're not going to be good in every single situation, but they can shine in majority of them. And to start things off in the B tier, we're going to have Warden. Warden has access to the SAS shotgun, which is insane pump action shotgun. Never sleep on it. If you are, you're just, I don't know, you've been sleeping for all time, because this gun has always been good. And for secondary weapons, SMG-12, very hard recoil, but if you can control that recoil, insane weapon. For secondary gadgets, deployable shield and C4, never go wrong with either of them. And to round it out, if you know how to use Warden's gadget efficiently, Warden is a very good operator. Only downside, free armor, so if you don't like free armor, you're going to struggle with Warden. Next in B tier is Wamai. Going back to what I said about Jaeger, Wamai, pretty strong, however, his gadget is pretty easy to take care of if you bring a Twitch or a Brava to get rid of them. Apart from that though, if they don't bring that, you're going to have a field day, and you're going to have a very enjoyable time playing Wamai. However, one of Wamai's main issues is not because his weaponry is insane. The MP5K and the AUG A2 are very good, and the Keratos or the P12 as secondary weapons, very good. And for secondary gadgets, very good again, you know, with having the barbed wire or the impact grenades. The issue with Wamai is that a lot of the time in the current meta, it's all about being mobile and ranked. It's all about, you know, moving from spot to spot. Wamai, you really just are setting up for one spot the entire round. Next in the B tier, Vigil, Boss G, that's the only reason he's even that high. His gadget is poo-poo. Again, sometimes it can be hard to track him, but if you can't track him, just wait for his gadget to run out and then drone him. SMG-12, solid secondary as well, and impacts as well, pretty good all around. I just feel as if the Boss G wasn't as broken as it currently is, he wouldn't be this OP. Next, in the B tier, it's going to be Thorn. Controversial one, but in my opinion, I think she's very effective. What I like to do is place Thorns all around me in one spot and then play off them. If I hear one activate, I swing and get a kill. But the Uzi is a very solid primary SMG, and for secondaries, you can bring the CZ, which isn't that bad, but there's better. But ultimately, being able to bring deployable shields and have free deadly mines is pretty nice. Next in the B tier, controversial one, Tachanka. Tachanka is the worst at his job, but he's still good at his job. And that's denying the plant and denying space. Having 20 bullets in the Shimika launcher is very effective in denying space and denying that plant. And on top of this as well, having access to Bearing 9 and his primary LMG is pretty powerful. 2-shot body shot. You can't be sleeping on Tachanka nowadays. Also, to round it all out, just to make him the perfect operator, he does have access to deployable shield and barbed wire. So I would ultimately argue, if you're new to the game and you're trying to play an anchor operator, I would actually vouch for you learning Tachanka, because he's better for setting up sight than smoke because of the fact you have deployable shield. Next in the B tier is going to be Solus. Now, Solus, pretty solid weapons, and the Aita shotgun. I wouldn't really go with the P90 in my opinion, and having the SMG-11 secondary. Secondary gadgets, the barbed wire and the proximity alarm, I would bring the barbed wire. But the reason why she's a solid pick is having access to seeing every electronic gadget in the game, which is a blessing and a curse. Because now, if you don't know how Solus 2.0 works, or 3.0, I don't even know what iteration 1 with this bitch, you need to be able to look through walls with your scanner and identify and play a guessing game of what is what. Is this someone on a drone? Is this a drone? Is this EMP? Is this X-Kairos launcher, a thermite charge, an ace charge, a hard breach can opener? You have to play a guessing game with yourself. Otherwise, if you overclock, the attacker is going to get alert that you're looking at them and they might take action on you. But if you can use her kit well, she's a good operator. Next in the B tier, Kapkan. My favourite SMG in the game, the Russian SMG. So I do have a bit of a bias. The PMM as well, the best pistol in the game. And the Kapkan traps, if you can get 2 ratty ones and even just get a down and play off the down, Kapkan can be a really solid operator. Next in B tier, Frost. Frost is a bit more underpowered than she used to be, because you need to be close to your frost mats to play off them and secure the kill. ACOG on a slow firing assault rifle, not bad. And the Aita secondary shotgun to set up sight with a deployable shield to help you play off your frost mats. Not bad all around. Next in the B tier, Doc, like I was saying, just a better rook. MP5, P90 and the French shotgun, all good. Bailiff to help you set up sight and having an ability to just go back up to full HP, self-revive, heal teammates from afar, all that good stuff. You can never go wrong with a Doc on your team. Next in the B tier, Arune. Arune, having that passive of being able to punch holes to make rotates is very underrated in my opinion. Also having a DMR on defense is not something to be overlooked. On top of this as well, having Cav's pistol and a BP and barbed wire is pretty nice. And we haven't even started on her gadget. Her gadget is very effective on sites that are window heavy because it doesn't leave that gap at the bottom of the Rune gate that drones can get past. So in my opinion, if there's a lot of windows on a site, you should be bringing a Rune. Next in B tier, Bandit. What's there to say? MP7, solid. P12, solid. Free speed, solid. If you can bandit trick, you're going to have a field day. Topless as well, always bring the C4. Who doesn't love to C4 people that are trying to open the breach? Next in B tier, Castle. UMP with an ACOG, no recoil. Chef's kiss, honestly. Super shorty secondary to assist you in making site setups with your castle barricades, which you have 4 of now, and having the option between proximity alarms and BP. So if you're in a squad, bring the BP. If you're solo queue, bring the beepers. Overall, just makes Castle a very good operator. Next in the B tier, Mr. Maestro himself, Mr. Ban Brava at all costs. Mr. Brava and Flores are my worst enemies. His LMG is a force to be reckoned with, high fire rate, low recoil, the bailiff to assist you in setting up sight, and having impacts to impact trick, or having barbed wire to deny people from flanking you. All around just makes Maestro a very powerful operator. However, if someone does bring a Brava, then you're kinda cooked. And finally, to round out the B tier, a solid pick in majority of sights, it's going to be Mira. Mira is very sight dependent and depends on you being able to find a spot where you can get value out of your mirrors. The Vector, high fire rate, low recoil, low damage unfortunately, but overall pretty solid primary. Having the Ita as well to assist you in setting up the sight, and the C4 to get you some free kills off your mirrors. All around just makes Mira one of the best anchors in the game, so make sure you're not sleeping on Mira. Now we're going to start off the A tier. Now the A tier is going to start with a new contender who've went from arguably maybe D or C tier all the way up to A, Thunderbird. She has got massively buffed in this new patch due to them giving her the secondary shotgun and for the ability for her gadgets to heal anyone to full HP if they don't take any damage. Top list as well, the spear, no recoil, pretty solid assault rifle and attack, so bringing it to defense is just bonkers. I think there's an argument to be made for Thunderbird being one of the best roamers in the game right now, so 100% make sure you are bringing Thunderbird. Next in the A tier, Smoke, the Mossberg SAS shotgun and the SMG11. What more do you need? The best defender combo in the game. On top of this as well, having smokes to deny plant is always valuable. The only thing keeping Smoke from S tier is the fact that his secondary gadgets don't really assist him unlike how he used to. If you didn't know, he used to have a deployable shield instead of proximity alarms, which made Smoke be able to just hold infinite space if he wanted to. Like if he wanted to play anywhere on the map, he can do that by just placing a deployable shield and playing behind it. Right, next up in the A tier, we have Scopos. Scopos, newest defender in Rainbow Six Siege, a 2-speed 2 armor and has 2 clones. You can switch between both of them and place the deployable shield when it's inactive. And the reason why Scopos is so high into the A tier is because the issue with roamers nowadays is the struggle to get back to sight. Scopos skips all that. On top of that as well, you can also put your clones in spots where it's impossible to actually break them and make you invincible to any counter on your clone that's like bloody across the map. For weaponry, she only has access to her assault rifle and the Japanese pistol. They're both pretty solid weapons. On top of this as well, having impact grenades to assist you in roaming is also a nice combo. Next in the A tier, Cade. Free armor, the TCSG is always the way to go to assist setting up the site, and you want to go with the French Magnum. For secondary gadgets, it just depends on the site. Do you need barbed wire? Do you need C4? You got to take initiative and pick. Majority of the time though, because it's ranked, you're probably going to go with the C4. But the reason why Cade is so high into the A tier is because his Electro Claw is so powerful. Cade is the only defender in the game who can efficiently protect hatches. On top of this as well, he's also the only defender to be able to defend 3 walls at once. And speaking of the TCSG, we're going to move on to Goyo. In my opinion, you're better off running the Vector with a 1x, not the ACOG, because you're just not going to control that. I can never control that. I've not met anyone who isn't on console that can control the ACOG on the Vector. Pistols, again, you have the Japanese pistol. And then for secondary gadgets, run the impact grenade. It helps you activating your Goyos. What you want to do with Goyos is place them in spots where it denies time or can deny a plant. Next up, A tier, Tubarão. Tubarão has the AR-15 or the MPX. AR-15 if you got a good trigger finger, otherwise go with MPX. He only has the SAS pistol, which is a solid choice, don't get me wrong. And then for secondary gadgets, run the C4. Ultimately with Tubarão, you only want to pick him to assist in slowing down anyone from opening down the breach, or if Cade's banned, you want to throw his Tubarãos at the hatches to keep them reinforced longer. Defense is all about wasting time and waiting till the later half of the round for the attackers to try plant and for you to swing and get active on that plant. Tubarão is one of the best time wasters in the game. Next up is Fenrir. Now, Fenrir has an insane combination of running an MP7 and the Bailiff. However, where he starts to lose some of his power is when you go to secondary gadgets. Having access to observation blockers or bulletproof cameras is a bit of a letdown. However, what I would recommend is running the observation blocker. Now, why you may ask, there's not many people that has poo-poo secondary gadgets in this game, but Fenrir is one of them. So, if you bring the observation blocker and place them in spots where it enables other utility to become more effective, you're now going to be blinding drones whilst blinding other players, because Fenrir's FNAT mines are incredibly busted. If you don't take care of them before taking a gunfight, you are cooked as an attacker. Unfortunately though, you only have the ability to activate 2 of them at a time, and even if they're closed now, they can be shot and broken. But even still, with all these nerfs, Fenrir is still an amazing defender. And speaking of amazing defenders, Echo is up next. Echo, MP5D and the Bearing 9, or if you know how to use shotguns, run the Supernova. Very underrated shotgun. On top of this as well, having access to deployable shield combos very nicely with Echo's kit, and how many rounds have you won as Echo just because you had an Echo drone on the board? Being able to deny that plant in the last 15 seconds, or the last 2 seconds of the round, is incredible. And also on top of this, now Echo drones can boost, meaning they're harder to hit. Echo's just, it's an Echo season right now. It's very, very, very powerful. And on the topic of powerful cameras, we're going to be moving on to Valkyrie. If I catch any using the spaz on Valkyrie, I'm going to fly kick you in the head. What also makes Valkyrie powerful as well is having the deagle to make lines of sight in the sight because of the deagle's high destructibility, and having 3 small little black dots you can place around the map that are cameras, and you can place them anywhere inside the map is insane. And combine that with a C4, oh, you're going to get yourself some free kills. Next in the A tier, and our 4th most powerful defender in the game in my opinion, is Melusi. 4 Banshees. What were they thinking? Banshees are incredible. On top of this as well, having the ITA to set up sight and an MP5 to go frag out with is an insane combination. So if you place your Banshees in calming walkthrough spots for attackers and swing off it with an MP5, especially with a horizontal grip because the MP5 has next to no recoil, you're going to be zooming and getting so many kills. And to make that just much better, she has impact grenades as well, so you can go for these runouts and impact trick breaches if you so need be. Only downside is that she's a free armor, so you do have to kind of run the horizontal grip on her MP5. But also as well, what I've been getting onto recently, the Sniper 90 is a really powerful shotgun. Next, for the top of A tier, we're going to have Legion. A T5 SMG combined with the Super Shorty is incredible. The only downside to Legion is the secondary gadgets, where, like Fenrir, you have the option between observation blockers or BPs. I like BPs because I'm lazy and don't have to place 3 observation blockers. However, you could go either way with this, and the goo mines are insane. With the goo mines you get in the prep phase, you should be setting them in spots where you're not going to be able to see during the round, so away from where you're going to be anchoring from or soft roaming from. Then the later into the rounds that you get, throw these goo mines into common spots that you're going to be able to see and play off. Having the damage and the audio cue and the ability for the attackers not to sprint oftentimes sets you up for a free kill. But with that being said, we're done with the A tier now, and we're going to start with the S tier, and there's only 2 operators in S tier on the defense. Number 1 is Mute. Mute, Mossberg shotgun, and the SMG-11, like I said with smoke, is no laughing matter. An insanely deadly combo that ultimately, on any attacker or defender, would just be insane. But they weren't done cooking with Mute. The Mute jammers, having 4 of them, being able to deny drones and deny utility is insane. Top list being free armor and having a C4 just makes Mute one of the best anchors in the game, which arguably, I feel as if Mute is too overpowered at the current moment in time, and they do need to take a jammer away from him. Now, at the top of the S tier, the best in the game, everyone saw it coming, it's Azami. Azami is the only operator in the game that is able just to create her own cover. If you see a couch in a room, in an open room, and you just throw a Kiba on it, now you have a cover to play behind. Same with a fucking plant pot, any type of surface, anything. You throw it on it, and then you have more cover. What more do you need? On top of this as well, having impact to impact trick or make rotate, or give yourself that elevated setup with the Kiba barriers, it's no laughing matter. But for weaponry, you would have thought they would nerfed her by giving her poo-poo weapons. No. They gave her the Russian SMG, which is one of the best SMGs in the game, and combine that with the Deagle, giving you the ability to set up head holes in sight and head holes and whatever you're set up on the map with your Azami Kiba barriers. So that's going to be the end of the video, you guys. I hope you enjoy. Please, if you do, like and subscribe. Go follow my Twitch, Twitter, and TikTok on the description of my video. How we get to 1k subs before the end of the year, because I'm broke as all be. I was going to swear, but it's the last couple seconds. But anyway, thank you guys. I'll see you guys later. Goodbye. Love you. Mwah.